Hot flashes, night sweats, mood changes. We all know the signs of the menopause, the condition brought on by a drop in hormone levels in women as they come to the end of their childbearing years. But what about the menopause? Far fewer people know that as men hit middle age, they too can suffer changes, but theirs are brought on by a reduction in testosterone levels. This can lead to problems like depression, erectile dysfunction, and rapid weight gain. We spoke to experts to explain everything you need to know about the male menopause. Men are affected by a more gradual drop in testosterone levels, medically known as the andropause. It impacts around half of men over the age of 50.
One of the things that we've learned is that as men get older, in some men, there can be a decline in testosterone over time. Generally speaking, it's a bit different than we see in women where, there will be a pretty significant drop in hormones at around the age of 50 or so. So in men, what we'll tend to see is that it will tend to be a slower, more progressive decline. And most of those men who have issues with a low testosterone will be complaining of decreased sexual desire, decreased energy, fatigue, memory changes.
Testosterone is a do-it-all hormone for men, playing an important role in their mental, physical, and sexual health. It regulates libido, erections, bone mass, fat distribution, muscle mass, strength, and the production of red blood cells and sperm. Boys see these levels increase sharply during puberty. Testosterone levels typically peak at around the age of 20, followed by a slow descent throughout the rest of adulthood. Once men hit their mid-30s, these levels begin declining.
It's a very important hormone throughout the body. So it plays a role in terms of the regulation of bone density. It plays a role in terms of our cholesterol levels and can play a role in terms of cardiovascular disease as well. There's some evidence that it plays a role in terms of diabetes control and in terms of blood sugar regulation. So, it's not just a hormone related with sexual function. Yes, it's a sex hormone, but that sex hormone plays many different roles throughout the body.
The male menopause is in some ways an overly simplistic term.
I think calling it male menopause occurred because there's a similarity and people felt that the man would feel as though he would understand what's going on because most men at a certain age have seen women who are either menopausal or postmenopausal, and they kind of see that there is a difference in that woman moving forward. But the issue is, as you said, a man wants to feel like a man.
In some cases, where lifestyle or psychological problems do not seem to be responsible, the symptoms of the male menopause may be the result of hypogonadism, where the testes produce few or no hormones. A decrease in testosterone can also lead to a drop in levels of dopamine and serotonin, which can have an impact on one's mental health. Testosterone is also central in the male sexual response, and it helps muscle cells maintain the strength and integrity of muscle fibers. When androgen receptors don't get enough testosterone, muscle can start to waste away. You also start to accumulate more body fat. With more fat, less muscle mass, and less energy, you feel less motivated to work out.
The whole reason that we'll see depression, anxiety in men with low testosterone is that testosterone, at the end of the day, makes a man feel good, right? It's kind of what gives you your oomph and what gives a man his vigor. We've certainly seen that there can be a relationship between lower testosterone levels and mood disorders, including depression and anxiety.
Men with low testosterone may opt to start hormone replacement therapy to combat symptoms and replenish hormone levels. Testosterone replacement therapy comes in many forms, from topical gels to intramuscular injections.
The big thing with hormone replacement therapy is that it's become a very big business, and that there are many clinics throughout the United States and throughout the world where you'll find certain businessmen who have opened these clinics and they're trying to sell and they're trying to push hormone replacement, with the concept being, I'm going to make this guy feel better and there's no real downside. If we looked about 10, 15 years ago, there were many studies that just suggested that this was a fountain of youth and that everybody should be on it. The pendulum kind of swung back a little bit, as there were a couple of studies that came out now 8, 10 years ago, which suggested that in more frail and more elderly men that testosterone replacement is actually harmful.
Testosterone replacement therapy has gotten high praise from podcaster Joe Rogan, who regularly talks about its benefits on air. Amazon mogul Jeff Bezos is also rumored to owe his new buff physique to testosterone replacement therapy.
Look, I think that there's a number of issues in the medical community and among men as patients as a whole. Men are terrible patients and they generally don't want to go seek care, especially over something like this. They feel like they're less of a man if they're bringing something like this up. Our job is to try to normalize this for the patient, for them to understand, listen, this is a medical issue. This is not you being any less of a man. I think because I can speak to patients in a very matter-of-fact manner and kind of lend some credibility to their issue, it helps for us to get to the bottom of this and to help it moving forward.
Menopause, or andropause, is an unspoken battle many men face. Talking about the realities of it helps to normalize this natural stage of life and lessen the stigma around the topic of male aging.
If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe.